Hey there, animated tie-in to a Toyline fan. Welcome to Versus, where I compare something to some other thing to see which thing is the best thing. Today I'm comparing Equestria Girls and Monster High. Well, this one's a no-brainer. Equestria Girls wins. Pal, play the outro. I'm gonna get me a burrito.
I will not.
But burrito!
Sergeant, I believe this is your milieu.
Private, impartial review, now.
Fine. Both Monster High and Equestria Girls focus on teams of 6 girls in an unusual setting, although the world of Equestria Girls is only unusual from the perspective of the magical dimension-hopping pony who visits it, which makes it similar to the Marvel or DCU, basically an ordinary world playing host to an extraordinary guest. Monster High, on the other hand, takes place at what looks a lot like the Ghoul School from Scooby-Doo, which is attended by high school girl versions of the famous Universal monsters. They get a decent amount of mileage out of the idea, but I still have unanswered questions. Is this entire world filled with monsters? There are normal humans running around, so this isn't the afterlife like on Beetlejuice. Is there like a state or country where monsters live? They never explain how this world works. It is cool though, and I like seeing the neo-gothic take on everyday life, even if it doesn't quite hit the high standards set by Tim Burton. So I'm gonna give the setting to Monster High. If I didn't know there were magical ponies and Equestria Girls, the whole place would be a bit dull. Now let's look at the characters. If you're familiar with My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, then you know Twilight the nerd, Rainbow Dash the jock, Applejack the farm girl, Rarity the fashionista, Pinkie Pie the party animal, and Fluttershy the animal lover. All 6 have distinct personalities, separate goals, and personal styles, as well as great chemistry together. The main characters of Monster High are Frankie Stein, the new girl, Draculaura, the bubbly one, my personal favorite Claudine, the sassy one, Laguna, the laid-back one, Ghoulia, the walking joke and solution to every single problem, and Cleo, the massive. They're all fun and likable.
Except Cleo.
Except Cleo. Their problem is they're not different enough from each other in any real way. They have separate personalities, which is good, but they don't have individual interests. Except Laguna, who's the most differentiated. And Cleo, who wants to be the best cheerleader. Fear leader ever. That's something I find a bit odd about Monster High. The Sinister Six here are usually portrayed as struggling underdogs just trying to get through high school. But Cleo's fabulously wealthy.
Well, yeah, her dad's Imhotep.
Frankie hangs out with rock stars, Draculaura's kinda dating one of the jocks, and they're all cheerleaders. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the popular girls. Tangent aside, the main 6 are more developed, better differentiated, and just stronger characters. Point goes to Equestria Girls. Now let's look at the visuals.
R-D-R-R.
Taken outside of its setting in a magical land of fantasy, there's not much to make Equestria Girls special. The anime-inspired character designs won't make you forget that this looks an awful lot like Doug. Monster High, on the other hand, looks great. The character designs are impressive, playing plenty of visual tribute to the source material, while making a lot of stylish modern updates. Sorry, my little human, Monster High just looks better. Supporting cast time. Both Monster High and Equestria Girls have fairly strong supporting casts. Canterlot High is the home to the high school counterparts of Equestria's finest. Roles more or less unchanged. Princess Celestia is now Principal Celestia, Granny Smith is now a lunch lady. The only really odd one is Spike, who's a dog.
Token guys just can't catch a break.
Speaking of, Monster High's token dude is a Rule 63 Medusa named Deuce Gorgon. He's your typical late model Fonzie archetype. Then there's Claudine's brother Claude.
Larry Talbot is not the most creative when it comes to names, apparently.
Then there's a rotating roster of second-tier friends, like a foreign exchange student Yeti girl.
Gillette must make a mint off of her.
And my favorite second stringer, Spectra, a semi-corporeal gossip columnist with matter-phasing powers and an awesome color scheme. Although they're fun and lively.
For the undead, anyway.
The supporting cast of Monster High isn't quite as good as Equestria Girls. Now, let's look at the comedy. Equestria Girls has the same comic sensibilities as MLP proper, with a wide variety of comically mismatched personalities and humorous scenarios, peppered with plenty of puns. Monster High is actually fairly similar, but they work in pop culture references, and some of them are actually sorta clever. So, point goes to both. Now for the antagonists. Monster High has a murderer's row of mean girls and a couple of mythological equivalents to Bulk and Skull. Like the Minotaur guy, Felicia's less interesting cousins, and Cleo's older sister. Equestria Girls has Sunset Shimmer, a typical mean girl, except she's not a typical mean girl. She's the fallen apprentice of an immortal sorceress who wants to attain an object of immense power to turn herself into a hellspawn and lead an army of brainwashed high schoolers to world domination. Equestria Girls wins. Look, Monster High is a big thing. There are a truckload of webisodes here on YouTube, there are movies, and the, toys, I guess. Well, Equestria Girls is one fairly short movie, and the inevitable sequels, and the tie-ins. Look, the point is, this ain't apples to apples. Monster High is a lot better than I thought it would be. It's clever and creative, and its sequel spin-off, Ever After High, is even better. There are two teams of opposing storybook scions, Autobots versus Decepticons style. Except neither group is evil, per se. Anyway, Equestria Girls wins. But if you're a fan of that, and you've already seen all Tim Burton's,
which the private has,
you'll probably like Monster High. If you're interested in more reviews of anime, comics, movies, TV shows, or video games, stop by my channel on YouTube. It's Stupid Private 913. Thanks for watching.
Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.